Hi everyone, and welcome back to my series on CSEC Math Paper 2 solutions. I know it's been a while since I last did a video. Let's just say life has been lifing and leave it at that. So I want to finish up the January 2025 papers. That was the last video I did where I reached question number 9. So this is on geometry and trigonometry. So I just have two questions to finish in this paper, question 9 and question 10. When I'm finished with that, I want to do the May 2025 paper as well as the hybrid January 2026 paper this year. That was just a week ago. So let's look at question number 9, part A from January 2025. The diagram shows a circle with center O and points P, Q, L, and N lying on its circumference. Ln is equal to NQ and RM is a tangent to the circle at L. Angle MLN is equal to 63 degrees. So let's have a look at part 1. So for 1 mark, we have to explain why angle X and angle NQL are equal. So if we look at angle X and angle NQL, which is this angle here, both of these angles lie at the circumference and they also lie in the same segment. What do I mean by segment? Well, this chord LN divides the circle into two parts. It divides the circle into this part here, which is the minor segment, and the rest of it is called the major segment. So both of these angles lie in the same segment. They both lie at the circumference, and they both share that same chord LN. Because if I just draw two lines starting from point P at angle X, going backwards this way, right? And then from angle Q, I draw another two lines, those two, what we call arms of the angle. We notice that both angles X and angle Q share that same chord LN. So that chord LN actually forms those two angles. So that is a particular circle theorem which says that angles at the circumference of the circle in the same segment subtended by the same chord are equal. Okay, so that's the reason why angle X and angle NQL are equal. So just going to erase these lines and let's go on to part 2 of the question. So part 2 says, determine the value of each of the following angles, show detailed working where possible, and give a reason for your answer. So we have to find angle X for 2 marks and also angle Y for 2 marks. So let's just go back up to the diagram and see if we could find the value of angle X. So looking at the diagram, the only angle we're given is the 63 degrees at L. So this angle at L is formed by this chord LN and this tangent ML. So there's a theorem that says the angle between the chord and the tangent at the point of contact, which is L, is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. Alternate meaning opposite. So let me break that down. So I already explained that the chord LN divides the circle into two segments. This shaded part is called the minor segment, and the unshaded part will be the major segment. So this 63-degree angle lies in the minor segment, whereas this angle, angle NQL, lies in the major segment, which is opposite. All right. Also, it is in the triangle NQL, and notice it is kind of opposite, obliquely opposite to that 63 degrees. So this angle Q is also 63 degrees, again because of that theorem that says the angle between the chord and the tangent is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. Now in part 1, which is right here, we already explained that these two angles at the circumference in the same segment, in the same major segment, formed or subtended by the same chord are equal. So if this is 63, angle X is also 63 degrees. So let's write down our reasoning. So the first thing we said that the angle between chord LN and tangent ML at the point of contact L is equal to the angle in the alternate segment NQL. Therefore, angle NQL equals 63 degrees. And since angle NQL equals angle X from part 1, then angle X is equal to 63 degrees. Okay, so of course this space here is for your working. It's also for your reasoning. So you can write here as per the reason that you could put this circle theorem that I just typed here, the first theorem, and also you could repeat this theorem for part 1 also in this space here, but I think this explanation is sufficient for the 2 marks. Okay, so let's find angle Y now. So going back up to the diagram, let me just erase. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go on to find angle Y. So angle Y is in this isosceles triangle. And how do I know this is isosceles, angle NQL? Well, you see these two little strokes here, and also they told us that in the question, that NQ is equal to NL. Those two lengths are the same, therefore it's an isosceles triangle. So we also know in an isosceles triangle that the base angles, which are here and here, are equal. And we just found angle NQL. We said that it is 63 degrees. So since the base angles in an isosceles triangle are 63 degrees, this angle here, angle NLQ, is also 63 degrees. So we could easily find angle Y, because then all we have to do is add or multiply 60 degrees by 2 and then subtract from 180 to find for angle Y. Okay, so let's go back down and let us type up an answer for angle Y. So the first thing we said was that triangle NQL is isosceles, therefore the base angles are equal. That is, angle LQ equals angle NQL. Therefore, angle NLQ is equal to 63 degrees also. And since triangle NQL is isosceles, then angle Y equals 180 degrees minus 2 times 63 degrees. Alright, so using my calculator, 2 times 63 is 126. So 180 minus 126 degrees is equal to 54 degrees. Right, so therefore angle Y equals 54 degrees. Okay, so that is our reasoning and our working for 2 marks.